If you have been scrolling through Twitter or Reddit lately, you have probably seen those absolutely cursed renders of the iPhone 18 Pro. You know the ones I'm talking about. The ones where the selfie camera looked like it was trying to escape off the top left corner of the screen. It looked weird. It looked unbalanced. And frankly, it looked like something designed by a committee of people who hate symmetry. Well, I have good news. You can relax. Put down the pitchforks. Because we just got a massive clarity leak that proves everyone was wrong. But while the camera isn't moving, almost everything else is changing. And I'm not just talking about the iPhone 18. We finally have our first real, concrete look at the iPhone Fold. And let me tell you, it is going to cost more than your first car. So buckle up. We are diving deep into the 18 Pro redesign, the death of a brand new button feature, and the $2,400 folding experiment that Apple is cooking up in the lab. Let's start with the iPhone 18 Pro, because the internet got this one completely twisted. The rumor that the camera was moving to the corner, it turns out that was a classic case of mistaken identity. Here is what actually happened. A component leaked showing the Face ID flood illuminator moving to the corner, underneath the display. Leaker saw a hole in the corner and panicked. But the actual camera, the part you see, that stays dead center. But here is the upgrade. The dynamic island is finally going on a diet. We are hearing it is going to be about 35% narrower. This is the first time they have touched the size of that cutout since the iPhone 14 Pro. So while it's not the all-screen dream just yet, it is going to be way less intrusive when you're watching YouTube or doom-scrolling TikTok. But the real story with the screen isn't the cutout, it's the technology behind it. Apple is reportedly moving to an LTPO Plus display architecture. Now, I know, LTPO Plus sounds like marketing gibberish, but practically, it means two things. Better battery life, because it leaks less energy and brightness that is going to melt your eyeballs. We are hearing rumors that Apple has set the brightness standard so high for the iPhone 18 that one of their major suppliers is literally getting kicked out of the supply chain because they couldn't hit the numbers. We are currently at 2,000 to 3,000 nits. If Apple pushes this to 3,500 or 4,000 nits, you'll be able to read your text comfortably while standing on the surface of the sun, which is great because I'm tired of squinting at my phone every time I step outside. Now, let's talk about the body of the phone, because Apple is making a U-turn here. Remember how big of a deal titanium was? It's space grade. It's light. Well, rumors say Apple might be ditching the titanium hype train and going back to an aluminum unibody design for the 18 Pro. Why? To blend the colors better. They want a seamless two-tone look where the back glass and the metal frame look like one continuous piece of jewelry. But there is a trade-off. The phone is getting thicker. And honestly, I am celebrating this. We have been begging for thicker phones for years if it means better battery life. And it looks like Apple is finally listening. They're fattening up the chassis to stuff a massive battery inside. So if a slightly chunkier phone means I don't have to carry a power bank everywhere, sign me up. But not everything is an upgrade. We need to pour one out for the camera control button features. You know that new button on the iPhone 16 that lets you swipe to zoom? Be honest with me. Do you actually use the swipe feature? Or do you just accidentally trigger it and ruin your shot? Yeah, that's what I thought. Apparently, Apple's data shows that nobody is using the touch sensitivity gestures. So, for the iPhone 18, they're downgrading the button. No more swiping. No more touch sensitivity. It's just going to be a button that detects pressure and clicks. Simple, cheaper to make, and honestly, probably better to use. It's rare for Apple to admit a feature was a flop this quickly. But hey, sometimes simpler is better. Okay, that is the standard iPhone. Now let's talk about the main event. The ghost in the machine. The iPhone Fold. For the longest time, we thought the iPhone Fold would look like two iPhones taped together. Tall, skinny, kind of like a TV remote. But a new leak has completely shattered that image. Apple is going for the passport. Look, think of it this way. When it's closed, it's going to be shorter and wider than a normal iPhone. But when you open it, it unfolds into a 4:3 aspect ratio. Basically, it's an iPad mini that fits in your pocket. And this makes total sense. If you have ever used a Samsung Fold, you know the front screen is like looking through a mail slot. It's too narrow to type on. By making the phone wider, Apple makes the front screen actually usable, and the inside screen perfect for video consumption and multitasking. But the biggest fear with any foldable is the crease. That valley down the middle of the screen that ruins the vibe. Well, sources say Apple is partnering with Samsung for the display panel, which makes sense, since Samsung makes the best screens. But Apple isn't just taking a stock Samsung part. They are engineering a proprietary liquid metal hinge mechanism. The goal here is a zero-crease experience. They want that screen to feel like a solid sheet of glass when it's open. If they pull this off, they solve the one thing holding foldables back. However, there is always a catch. And with the iPhone Fold, the catch is the camera. You would think that on Apple's most expensive phone ever, you would get the best camera ever, right? Wrong. The leaks confirm only a dual camera setup. A 48-megapixel main lens and an ultra-wide. That means no telephoto, no 5x zoom, no periscope lens. Why? Because physics is a bully. Foldable phones have to be incredibly thin when they are open. There just isn't enough physical depth to stack the glass needed for a zoom lens without making the camera bump look like a door handle. So if you buy this, you are trading zoom for screen real estate. And now, we have to talk about the price. If you have a drink in your hand, put it down. You don't want to spit it out. Analysts are now pegging the price of the iPhone Fold at $2,400. $2,400. That is not phone price. That is a used Honda Civic price. That is high-end MacBook Pro price. That is double the price of an iPhone 15 Pro Max. And honestly, I think that might even be the starting price. Remember the Vision Pro? Apple isn't trying to sell this to everyone. They aren't trying to get your grandma to buy an iPhone Fold. This is a flex. This is a status symbol. This is for the engineering nerds and the people who just have to have the absolute bleeding edge of technology. So here is the situation for next year. You have the iPhone 18 Pro, which is getting a brighter screen, a bigger battery, and a sensible return to aluminum. It's the safe, reliable choice. And then you have the iPhone Fold, a $2,400 experiment with no zoom lens, a passport shape, and a liquid metal hinge. It's risky, it's expensive, and it's completely unproven. But I have to ask you, and be honest in the comments. Let's say the rumors are true. Let's say there's zero crease and the battery life is actually good. Would you drop $2,400 to replace your phone and your iPad with one device? Or is Apple out of their mind? Personally, I think I might be crazy enough to try it. But I might need to start selling some kidneys first. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, because as soon as we get actual photos of this thing, I will be breaking them down frame by frame. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.